So, Rebekah, great to have you here at the Baptist Centre.
Thank you.
And as many people know, you've been serving short-term with Baptist Missions down in Neenah in County Tipperary. I often say where the ambulances are made, but I think that's a bit of an old joke now at this
Yeah, it
stage.
is. You've used it too many times, Mervyn.
Yeah. I suppose let's go back a little bit first. In terms of when I think it was Missions Night last year in 2025. You
I felt God
God
calling me,
calling you. So tell us a little bit about that and how that led then to you going to serve in Neenah.
So I felt unsettled in my workplace in Cookstown Primary School, and I felt the need to step out. So I stepped out and decided to take a career break. So not knowing what was in front of me, but I was just praying, God, where is it you want to send me? And I remember praying just even before Baptist Missions Night, God, if it's even Ireland, that you will speak to me. Well, David and Afaf, they were interviewed that night, and I think Afaf was the only wife that was there, and she spoke of just the need to help in children's work, and she would just appreciate just someone coming alongside and helping her in that. So, and I think throughout that whole meeting I was thinking, is this where God's calling me to?
So you end up in Neenah. You've been there for the past 9 months or so, and you're going to stay on till the July when they have their holiday Bible club. Tell us some of the things you've been doing first of all, and then we'll come back a little bit and explore. Has it all been easy and light? But what are some of the ways in which you've been able to help? And I know you won't say this, but I know David and Afaf and the folks in the church in Neenah have really appreciated you being there, and have really seen your help, and say that they've been able to do things because you're there that they might not have attempted without you. But tell us some of the things you've been involved in.
So I've been involved with mostly children's work, so Sunday school, the Lego club once a month, and then I've been doing ladies' work. It's been great to even start new ministries. So we worked with the teens there, getting something started with them, and the men's breakfast. Now I wasn't at the men's things, but cooked the breakfast, and then so that means David could enjoy time with the men. Visitations, and just being out in the community. So just going to different things just to get to meet people.
Yes. And tell us, so obviously you moved from a relatively big church. You were the Sunday school superintendent for a number of years. You're involved in the ministry of the church. You've got Christian friends in the church. You've got other Christian friends outside the church. There's lots of, if you like, community around you. You go to somewhere like Neenah, and there's very little. So was that hard? And were there times did you feel?
Yeah, so I'd say at the start it was fine, but as time goes on, you're just like, oh, you don't know people in the supermarket, or you don't see people you recognise going down the street, or you don't have those same Christian events that we have up north that we're so blessed with.
Okay.
There's very little to go to. So really you love the fellowship with the church and the prayer meetings, because that's the time you only get with Christians, really.
So would you say maybe in some ways you maybe appreciated those things more than you might have taken for granted at home, but actually just because there was so little else other than that to do?
Absolutely, yeah. Like we're so blessed up north with so many ministries, so many different events for young people, all ages really. Actually, I miss the worship in church as well. Now, I'm not saying that anything against I sing, it's great, but you just miss, like, even this morning, everyone singing together. It just does your heart so.
You don't have instruments, and you don't have people to play and so on, which is a very practical need.
So I need to start learning to play the guitar. I've been meaning to do that this year, but never happened.
But that's interesting, isn't it? Because I know in the Clonus context, obviously the distance is shorter, but a couple of the churches, Stone Park and Knockconny, that they actually at the moment, because they're early days in Clonus, those churches are sending people to help with the music. And obviously that's another difference though, because you don't have the luxury in Neenah of other churches around you big enough and large enough to be able to send off a team of people to go and play the music in Neenah for you. So were you struck by that as well, in terms of the contrast, say, between even the number of believers and even the number of other even Baptist churches around you? That was that a bit of a culture shock too?
To be honest, being in Neenah, I just felt so at home,
Okay.
even there, even though there's so many differences. But I just felt God has me here, and I just felt content to be there. But yes, as time goes on, of course, you miss different things. But no,
Yeah.
other
And
than that, it's-
did you ever come to a place where, I don't know, why did I do this? Why, you know, and how did the Lord help you through those times?
Honestly, worship has been a vital role, where God has just reaffirmed like His promises, and just speaking on like His plans for you, and He never leaves you, and that has got me through. It's actually put taken my focus, redirected my focus off myself and onto the work that I'm doing there. But yes, there might have been a few tears, but worship, and then I'm like, no, God has me here, and He's with me. He knows what He's doing.
Right.
So.
Right. And you've also enrolled in the women's discipleship course on a Tuesday night.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that, and you know, did you find that helpful? I know you're kind of dreading the essays
I'm
and all.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mervyn. So yes, Tuesday nights, it was great. Probably would be better if you did it in person, because you get to know people better. But I actually made friends on the Zoom. Actually, Barbara from Hope Community
Yes,
Church.
I was talking to Barbara on Saturday.
So we've actually got to meet up a couple of times, because Longford's kind of on the way home. So it's been great just to get to know different people, even in Ireland. The discipleship course, the lectures were amazing, but as you say, I'm not a fan of essays, presentations, but I learned actually so much through that, and just it made you then dig deeper into God's Word, or to research, which I'm not a reader, so it has been helpful, the discipleship course. Yeah.
Good. And Rebekah, somebody maybe in your shoes, obviously, you know, we've had different people serving this year on short term. You know, Joseph Kidd just finished school, Kirsty Little in the middle of university, you know, Hannah McFall just finished university. You had a few more years of your life of...
I was just going to say, what are you going to say, Mervyn?
Well, I was going to say that you took the decision to take a career break, which is a big step, because obviously then that risk of, I know you're guaranteed for a certain length of time your job back, but in a sense, there's a risk, and there's a, as you mentioned earlier, stepping out in faith. So maybe somebody watching this who's maybe thinking about doing something short term like you have done, but maybe that a little bit more, if you like, rooted in their career, but would have the opportunity maybe to take a career break. What would you say to someone like that?
Well, if God's looking you to go somewhere, I would say go. I wouldn't hold it off. God will always get you a job somewhere else. That's the way I've always looked at things. God has placed me in different jobs, and God never has let me down. So if I don't go back to this job, and God will have something else better in store for me. That's maybe not how everybody else would see it, but
yes. And the sense, the need that you've seen in the context you're in, which can be repeated across lots of towns and, you know, counties in the Republic in particular, do you think, you know, other people, if God is calling them to go and to see, because that need is there, there's so many people who've maybe never heard the gospel once, for people to go and to come and be part of that?
definitely. I just feel if God is stirring someone's heart to go, push that door, and God can use our gifts in any context. And I actually think, I know David and Faf have appreciated me being in Nina, and I think all the church plants could do with a worker, just because you don't have that dedicated team around you, and so you appreciate someone else, an extra person being there to help with the ministries. And so I think every church plant needs
Rebekah,
a worker.
you just realised you've caused me and the Ireland Committee a whole lot of headaches now. Every Baptist mission working in the country is going to be wanting a Rebekah Reid or a Hannah McFall to come and help them.
No, but I think it would be it so benefits the church, because we're so blessed again up north. You have a whole church community there ready to serve, and maybe people in the south haven't had that same privileges of growing up in kids club. They don't know how things are run, and so
no, I've seen that, and I've heard that in terms of, I think somebody from the Port Stewart Church was in one of the church planting contexts and saw, the church planter coming in with his guitar on his back, and then, set that down, starting to put the chairs out and da. And, it dawned on him that in a church the size of Port Stewart, they have a team to come and do the audio visual. They have a team to come to do the music. They have a team to come to do the welcoming. They have a team to come on tea and coffee, whatever. So, and obviously Port Stewart is one of our largest churches, but just that reality that in a church planting context,
it could be the church
just
planters that are pretty much doing everything.
Yes, exactly.
So if you want a new ministry to start up, you'd be like, I'm not going to start that up because it's going to be ourselves doing it.
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
so
David and Faf couldn't have started that children's club, even just from a purely, safeguarding point of view, without you. And obviously you're the person with all the children's ministry experience. They didn't have any.
Yeah.
So in a way, someone like you comes along who can do that, well then that possibility of being able to. And tell us a little bit about how that Lego, because the last club you had 11.
Yeah.
And some of the parents stayed as well.
Yeah, so the Lego, they'll come in, they'll have free time to build whatever they want, and then if whatever the story's on, say it's Noah's Ark or the Paralysed Man we done, the Miracles of Jesus last month, and so we built a scene then of the house and the man being lowered down, and then the kids then, they'll hear the story around that, the memory verse or quiz, but then they'll have their Lego challenge, so they have to have a challenge of building a pulley of some sort.
Okay.
How would they lower a man down through the roof? And so this actually helps them to remember the story,
yes,
what they've been learning. And so, some parents came in early and they've been sitting in through the verses or the songs, which is amazing. Last month, the parents got to hear Simon and Jane teach on Acts 16:31, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and you will be saved. And so a parent went out saying, that was really good stuff, and he was really intrigued about what he's hearing. So, and he sent his son again back. So it's lovely when you see the same children coming back. It might not be many, but God's definitely doing something.
And Rebekah, your connection now with your home church, how have they cared for you, supported you, prayed for you, taken an interest in what you're doing in Nina during the time that you've been there?
I've probably been the worst at keeping in contact with people, and I know people's lives, they move on, so I try to maybe update them, or they'll ask me for prayer points, and I appreciate the prayers and support of the church. The ladies actually had me come up and take, they were going through the fruits of the Spirit, so they want me to talk on the faithfulness, how God's faithfulness has been shown through the work I've been doing in Nina. So it was lovely seeing the ladies all together, and some of them are like, we must get down, we have to get down and see you. And I think it's good for the churches to actually come down and see where you're at, see the church and where you're living and the community.
Yeah, see the reality
of the situation. And then
I think
then people actually it'd be more on their heart till, I know they are praying, but it just puts it better into context of how to pray and you can kind of say, oh, I can see Rebekah being in the art centre or...
Yes, and particularly during the summertime, and just again, the Port Stewart Church have developed a thing over the last few years called Barnabas teams, where obviously Port Stewart gets invaded by people, during the summer, and they're encouraging some of their church members to go away for the weekend, go to somewhere like Nina or Belturbet or Bundoran or whatever it might be, and actually, take the Baptist Missions team out for lunch, but just go there and say, look, we're praying for you, want to encourage you, and that they've been a real blessing, and we have a list of about 18 different contexts in the Republic that, and actually Balaki we've included now as well, where people wanted to go and encourage that little emerging church plant and encourage the workers and so on. That people contact the office, we can send them that list of names and contacts and meeting times and all the rest. But that can be a real encouragement, and people pray a lot more intelligently then when they see the context.
Because I know for me, I would pray for people better if I've seen them. And yes, I like the idea of Port Stewart encouraging ones, because then last summer I then wanted to go out to different churches and see who's doing what. And definitely helps to pray for them better and to see the work that they're doing.
That's when you were on the Baptist Missions Ireland Committee.
Yes, I wanted to do that. It stopped short.
Oh, it was great. We love losing a committee member to go actually on mission. That's by far the best way to lose committee members. But Rebekah, thank you on behalf of of Baptist Missions, thank you for, and I know I can speak on behalf of the, well, I can't really speak on behalf of the Nina Church, but I know the Nina Church members, and David and Faf in particular, they've been delighted and very grateful for all that you did, and just for the person you are and the blessing you were to them during the 9 months or so you were there. And for anybody watching this, if you are considering maybe serving the Lord short term, whether it's here in Ireland or in France and Spain, if you have French or Spanish, or maybe even a short-term team to Peru, which James Robinson is leading one in January from the 6th to the 21st of January, do contact us here at irishbaptistmissions.org, and we can get you more details, and we can begin a conversation with you as to how you may be able to serve short-term with Baptist Missions. But Rebekah, thank you for taking the time today to come and see us, and we trust the Lord continue to bless you in the months ahead.
Thank you very much.